Let's talk about Twisters.
Yeah, Twisters.
We'll give our scores on this one. We'll talk about what we thought of the movie in the general sense, and then we'll move into spoilers. So I'll start with my score on this, and then Alex, you can give yours after. So just as a little bit of background, I haven't actually seen the original Twister.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I haven't.
No.
I didn't think I would need to know all the lore in the Twisters universe to be able to enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
And I was right. I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. It was fun, very cool visuals, amazing sound design. The characters were interesting enough, and it was a better story than I was expecting for this kind of like disaster movie thing. So overall, I gave it a 7. I thought it was a good disaster movie with actually a decent plot, and I enjoyed the characters, and it was different than I was expecting it to be. So I enjoyed that. And also, I saw a comment on Reddit that I just had to point out because it made me laugh. They said, this is basically the plot of a Hallmark Christmas movie, but with tornadoes. And somehow they made it work.
I mean, he's not wrong, because I was actually going to say, this is actually kind of a romance movie.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent movie. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 7. I think it's above average.
All right. So I seen the original one. The original one was like my guilty pleasure. I watched it so much as a kid. To be honest, there's almost zero connections to the first one. This is almost like a reboot, I feel like. If you've seen this one, you've seen the original one, pretty much.
Okay.
But no, I really like this one too. I like how you put Glenn Powell in the screenshot, because everyone loves that dude.
Yeah.
He's a little my little man crush. I mean, that dude has an electrifying smile, though, does he not?
Yeah, he does. The trailers though. Well, I guess we'll get to it in spoilers. I'll let you keep going.
Yeah. But anyways, my boy Glenn Powell, he carried the movie. Let's be real. He was the best part about the movie. The actress did great too, but yeah. Glenn Powell is the Glenn Powell show. But no, I enjoyed it. I would actually give it an 8 out of 10. I think I enjoyed it a little bit more than you. It was a lot more character driven than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
A lot more heart to it than I thought it was going to be for like a Twisters movie. And again, it was just fun too. Mm-hmm. And again, I know I say it all the time, but I'm a sucker for romance, and there's some good romance in this, and not over the top cheesy romance too, like real. And so I really enjoyed it. It was better than I expected. I was expecting some dumb disaster movie with just CGI fest, but it was more to that. So I think this, if you're looking for like a summer blockbuster type movie, like I think this, you can't get any better. So I'd say an 8 out of 10 for me for this.
All right, well then let's get into spoilers. So spoiler alert for Twisters.
So what were you going to say about Glenn Powell in the trailers?
So in the trailers, they definitely made him out to be like kind of a douchey character, like one of those like thrill YouTube, doesn't really care, just wants to get the views and be crazy kind of character. But I actually like how they kind of subverted that, and throughout the movie kind of flipped it where he's the one that actually cares, and then the person you thought cared, her friend from the beginning, was actually the one doing it for the money and stuff. I was not expecting that from the trailers, so I like how they did that.
They didn't make him the dumb, like you said, the dumb villain. He was a smart dude. He had depth to him. So I agree. I was not expecting that either. They could have easily made him the stereotypical douchebag. Like a dumb idiot, but like he's actually smart.
Yeah, I like how they did that.
Yeah, he just knows how to kind of have fun. Like there's some scenes when him and the main girl were talking, and he says that he's terrified, even though he never acts like it. And I'm like, see, this is like real. Like I didn't expect this kind of conversations.
Yeah.
But the whole beginning I thought was great too. So it starts off with her and her friends doing a project. It's her project.
Yep.
So they want to try, like, I'm no scientist, but they want to try to get some sort of chemicals in a tornado so it can dissolve a tornado, correct?
Yeah, they're trying to like suck the moisture out of it. So they use like a chemical in diapers to suck the moisture out and then basically cancel the tornado and just make it fizzle out.
Yeah. So this is her experiment. She brings her friends, and this is where you kind of see, like you mentioned, her other friend, Javi. Mm-hmm. He's kind of like the
tech guy.
Well, the tech guy that's kind of, wants to sleep, kind of joking. Mm-hmm. Not that serious, not organized.
Yep. Kind of like a burnout kind of character.
Yeah. And so he stays back, and then Kate and her friends have to chase the tornado to get the robot ball things sucked up in there.
Yep, to release the chemical.
Yeah, to release the chemical, and things go wrong, and her friends die. And I thought it was pretty terrifying the way they kind of slowly go out, like it's sucked in by the tornado.
Yeah, it was very sudden when they get sucked up. I felt there were some predictable things about this movie. Like when that started, I was like, oh, I don't know if I think only the main girl's gonna make it. Like, I kind of thought that.
Yeah.
And that's what happened, but it looked really cool and really terrifying for sure. It felt like a crazy storm.
Well, and the way her boyfriend died too, kind of like hugging her, like it's okay, which they play into that later in the movie.
Yeah.
And he's just gone, like just thinking about that, like, God, how terrifying would that be?
Yeah, super terrifying.
Jeez. And then it kind of cuts to black, and then she kind of walks out. You can see the destruction, and then it cuts to, 5 years later, I believe?
Yeah, I think so.
And she just works at a meteorologist place predicting weather for a news station.
So she's in New York, yep. She's not in Oklahoma anymore.
She's terrified. Like, I think she is terrified.
She has a lot of PTSD, it seems like, from that. And I think they did a pretty good job of portraying the PTSD, like, with the nightmares and her waking up saying, like, it'll be okay, just like how her boyfriend was saying. And yeah, that was a good portrayal of it.
Yeah, I agree. And like, again, this is the kind of stuff I wasn't really expecting in this movie. And then Javi, her boss or whatever, tells her someone's waiting for her, and it ends up being Javi. And apparently Javi went into the army, correct? Or the Marines?
Yeah, I think it was the army or something, yeah.
He has the funds now and has the people and equipment to be able to kind of finish what they started.
Yeah, he's set up these like devices that if they can triangulate them, then it can like 3D scan and map out an entire tornado. And she has some kind of unique ability to like sense the weather or understand what the weather's doing and where it's going to go. So he needs her to like be able to lead them to where a tornado is going to be so that they can set up the 3 different scanners.
Yeah, because he knows, like, she doesn't need any fancy equipment or nothing. She just has this sense.
Yep.
Which they play into throughout the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
So first, I think Kate is the actress. Daisy Edgar Jones is her name. I think she did great for her character. I liked her. She was a strong female character. She had her faults like every normal person trying to get through. There was something she had to overcome throughout the whole movie. Like, I thought she was a great character.
Yeah, I agree.
I think for me, the one weakness is I think Javi, he went into so many different directions. Like, I get his purpose. Like, he's working for the bad guys, but he needs to understand, he needs to overcome his thing about, I can't be working with these people. Like, he thinks it's fine because he has the money and the funds to make a difference by working with these people.
Yeah.
Which later on they get into this. But his character to me is the one that I think was the weakest, just in the sense of I almost feel like they didn't know what to do with him.
I could see that. I do think they did a decent job of, because it is kind of a gray area. When he's starting, he does need funds and he wants to try and make a difference. He starts out like with a noble cause. It just takes him a little too long to realize that the person who's funding it is benefiting to the detriment of people in crisis. So,
and he does have his moment.
Mm-hmm, he does.
But I just personally think he was probably the weakest of the main characters.
I agree. He was. I think he was the weakest of the main characters, yeah.
But that being said, I still found their relationship interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, he meets with her, says, you need to come back to Oklahoma, come home, help me out just 1 week. She says no. And then, was it a nightmare she had, or did she see something on the news where she changed her mind? I don't remember.
I think she saw the news and saw that it was like the worst tornado, like
outbreak ever, or something like that.
Yeah.
And so she changes her mind. She flies out to Oklahoma, meets with him, and this is kind of where the main part of the movie begins.
Yep.
And we still haven't even seen Glenn Powell yet.
Not yet.
In his movie, his name is Tyler. They go. Well, what is it? It's like a gas station or something where all these tornado chasers meet up or wait for tornadoes, or
so there's a ton of them there.
And also like news people and just whatnot. And then Tyler and his crew show up, and they're like the fun celebrity YouTuber type people selling merch and recording videos, and everyone loves him, and he has that smile and the charisma, and everyone's like, "Ooh, Tyler," and of course Javi hates him. Of course, there's more to it, right? Which again, they could have easily gone basic, predictable. Like, this is it. Like, they are just generic YouTubers, douchebags that chase tornadoes, but they totally flipped the script.
And they could have even made it that, like, Tyler changes to, like, understand that he needs to do more or something, but I like the fact that they made it that he knows the actual, like, what's actually needed and is just doing the funny videos to kind of fund it, to actually help instead of the other way around, that Javi is actually doing it.
Yeah, I love that too, because I had thought that you're right. I thought it's going to be the opposite, where Tyler is going to be like, you know what, this girl knows what she's talking about, and he starts falling in love with her, and then maybe he's like, okay, I shouldn't be selling merch or doing this or doing that. But yeah, they do a good job with that. And then the first kind of chase scene, besides the beginning of the movie, happens. And the conversation with him and Kate, like, they had great chemistry. I thought the actors had great chemistry.
Yeah.
Like, they bounce off each other very well. She walks off, and he's kind of like asking where do you think it's going to be? What's her name? Kind of thing. And, they have their little stuff. She's like, it could be this way or that way, but I think it's this way. They have their little moments, and
I liked how standoffish she was to him, because to her, she's getting the same impression that I did in the trailer, that he's just this thrill-seeking douche that like doesn't really care, and you can tell that just by how she interacts with him.
Yeah, like, it was understandable. Like, I was even like, okay, this dude, like, he's being too douchey right now. Then they had the first chase, and of course, Tyler and his crew, they're just kind of funny, right? They're recording it, and they want to go into the tornado to shoot fireworks.
And they have this like British reporter that doesn't know what he's getting into with them. And
yeah, he was funny too. So they're trying to do that, and then also, of course, Kate and Javi and their crew are trying to do the triangulate scan of a tornado. Two of them get down, and it's just Javi and Kate that needs to do it. And she kind of has her PTSD, can't do it, and tells Javi, we gotta go. She gets scared. They drive off, can't do it, and Javi kind of takes the blame. But then you see, Tyler and his crew, they're going in there. I'm like, dang, they're going in the actual tornado.
Yeah.
And they're shooting fireworks off in the tornado, having fun, yada, yada, yada. Javi's annoyed. So that's kind of how the first one goes. But number one, I thought the special effects looked great.
Yeah, the tornado looked cool, and the fireworks in the tornado looked really cool.
Yeah. And then again, I thought Tyler, Glenn Powell, I thought all those actors and characters did great. They're fun. And then also, I like how they start playing with Kate's PTSD. Like, it felt realistic. It's like her first
time facing a tornado again. It makes sense that she'd get jumpy and want to drive further away, which is why the scan didn't work, because they were too far away. So that all makes total sense, yeah.
And I even like that Javi takes the blame for this first time, like it's her friend, he knows.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm glad he wasn't a jerk about it initially. So all that was good stuff. After that, they go back. Or what do they do? Is this where they stay the night at the hotel? Like, all the people stay the night at that motel or whatever?
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so too. So all the storm chasers, they all stay at this motel in the middle of nowhere so they can get a jump on it in case another tornado pops up. Javi wants to hang out. Kate's like, no, I want to go to bed. This is another good moment, I thought, with Kate and Tyler. She just walks up the stairs to go to bed, and then she sees Tyler there fixing up his car or something.
Mm-hmm.
And again, she kind of has the sass back to him, but he likes it, man. You know what's that? Like, he likes it. He likes the hard to get. Like, you can tell he's like, oh, someone's standing up to me.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
I don't remember their exact conversation. I don't know if you do.
Yeah, no, not fully.
But I do know, like, there's like, she was saying stuff and she was kind of clapping back, and his crew was like, oh, she burned you, and he's all smiling like, oh, he likes it, man. The chase, man. The chase. What happens after that? They go to bed the next morning? I don't know.
Yeah, I think, and then they go on another. This one's the twins tornado.
Right.
There's two of them.
That's right.
Tyler chooses one to go after. The more obvious one, she sees the wind changing, and I like you could see like the ripple over the grass and how it focused on that and kind of flew over. That was a cool shot.
Yes.
And then she changes to the other one, and that ends up being the one that actually forms. So I think that's where he realized that she really knows what she's doing. Tyler realized that.
Even the British reporter said something too, and I don't remember the exact conversation, but he even started getting interested in
oh yeah, in her more than Tyler almost. Yeah.
So they get the tornado and they get it placed, but then the tornado sucks up the
scanner.
The scanner. They lose it, right?
Yeah.
After this, it goes into that town. What happens?
So
does it go into the town?
It's going towards a town, and Javi wants to go pick up the scanner that was sucked up so that they can get the data, but she wants to go help the town. So she steals his car and leaves Javi there. It almost looks like she leaves him in the path of another tornado or something. And so she goes off and takes off to the town and sees that the storm chasers are there helping out. She sees them like selling stuff is what it looks like, but then she finds out that they're just selling the t-shirts and giving everything else away to people in trouble. And that's where you kind of realize, oh, these aren't really the douchey, only interested in clicks kind of people. They actually care.
Yeah, that's when I knew like they were doing something more with those characters, because they get there and she sees them selling merch to all these poor people, or people that, not poor people that got like destroyed their homes and stuff, and she gets mad. And then one of the Tyler's crew member offered, here's some food and water, and then she, Kate gets mad, like, you shouldn't be selling these to people, give it to people in need. And she's like, oh, no, we are. This is why we sell our merch and stuff, so we can buy the stuff and give it to the people in need. And then Kate's like, oh.
She also sees Javi's investor there talking to someone, I think, about buying up the land.
Yes, trying to buy land, yep.
She notices, Javi's in with someone who's not doing good.
So, like, I feel like this is kind of the turning point. Tyler's there looking for, like, a dog or something, but before she knew about the merch stuff, she was mad at him. She goes back to the hotel, then Tyler gets there, shows up with pizza, and she slams the door on him. And then she opens it because she feels bad, and he's like, I want to take you somewhere. And then I feel like this was probably the best part of the movie for me. I really liked the scene with them when they go to the rodeo, and Tyler starts kind of explaining, like, yeah, this is where I grew up, this is my place. This is where he kind of gets vulnerable, like, I'm terrified of tornadoes, but you can't run from what you're scared of, all this stuff. This is where it started feeling like a romance movie, to be honest. Maybe that's why it was my favorite. But no, I just thought it was cool, right? It felt very, like, patriotic with the flags and, like, the rodeo and America. But just their chemistry, like, I thought it was a really good scene. How did you feel about the scene?
Yeah, I liked it. I definitely liked getting to know Tyler's motivations, because up to this point we didn't fully know too much about why he's doing it, or so getting to see that. And another thing that I liked, that I think this is a good place to mention it, is at this point in the movie I was kind of like, because another tornado comes, and I was like, like, this is starting to get a little repetitive. But I feel like each tornado was different enough that it kept me engaged. Like the first one, they were shooting the fireworks in, that was cool to see. The second one was the twins and the chase of which one it's going to be. That was interesting. This one was at night, and they were like in it, unprotected.
This one was terrifying.
It was intense. Like they had to like run to a pool, it looked like, and they found a little wedge inside the pool that they could stay safe in, and like you could see people driving away and getting sucked up, and all the destruction from just on the ground instead of safe inside of one of their like cars that are made to handle it. So they did a really good job of keeping all the tornado scenes interesting by changing them a little bit. So I like that.
I agree with what you're saying, because at this point in the movie, it could have gotten dull. Because I agree, that second chase, while was awesome, I'm like, okay, this is cool, but now what are they going to do, kind of thing. This was the most terrifying one for me. I don't know if it's because I live in the Midwest, but the thought of just a tornado popping up in the middle of the night, it just looks so ominous at night.
It really does. And I liked how there was that lady in the, I don't know what it was, a hotel or something, and she's like, oh, don't worry, 9 out of 10 times it's not a real tornado.
That's how everyone acts out here, man. Like, oh, it's fine.
I literally read comments, they're like, yeah, that's literally what everyone says. Like, nobody takes them that seriously.
I swear to God, like, everyone's like, oh, it's fine. Like, it's like, they're used to it. Not so much in my area, but like, still though, like, that's why it was so funny. It's like, that's how someone would react. But like, that whole scene was terrifying. Them kind of running to find shelter and seeing the chaos in the background, and so one of the dudes people getting in their car and getting sucked out. And, and again, this is a great parallel to the beginning, where they're in the pool, and then Glenn Powell, Tyler, he helps a person and then just hugs her and saying, I got you. And it's almost like she's waiting for him to get sucked up. And then when she noticed he was still there.
Yeah, because they shot it where it was like, at one point you could only see her, and then it zoomed out and you could see him. So yeah, that was a good, and were there flashbacks? I feel like there was like flashes of that other storm too, kind of showing her PTSD. I believe
there was, yes. So like, I thought that was very well done. And I feel like that was the moment she realized, like, okay, I can't get through this. We can't survive. And she started caring about Tyler.
I agree. Because he, like, saved that kid or saved the mom of the kid or something.
And so that whole scene was great. And then obviously Javi and all them come. And, like, we were worried. Which I didn't even know she told them that she was going there.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I guess it was just assumed that she would let people know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then she gets kind of mad at Javi. I don't remember for what. Something about the investor. This is when she starts mentioning the investor stuff to him, right?
Yeah.
And then she drives off and goes to her mom's place. And again, this is where I still think they did a good job about changing it up. Because again, it kind of, your comment Reddit guy said it kind of right. Like, it was Hallmarky, but like not in a bad way, like a good way. Because she goes back to the house and, you know, she stays the night there. And then Tyler shows up. And, you know, they're having like a dinner. And, you know, the mom's talking about her. And it felt like a romance movie. It literally felt like we're watching a romance movie.
Yeah, the mom fell for him faster than she did.
I know. But I mean, who wouldn't though? The dude just has he has that charisma, man.
Yeah.
Man crush Monday. Oh wait, it's Thursday.
It's Wednesday. You got it wrong.
Oh, wait, is it Wednesday? Yeah. Oh my god. I've been sick, okay?
Yeah. You have an excuse.
But no, and then he goes into the shed, or the barn, excuse me, and kind of finds her old notebooks.
And her old science projects and stuff.
Yes, and they did a good part. They showed more flashbacks here, or videos or whatever, of her and her old boyfriend that died.
Yep.
And I thought that was pretty emotional and sad. That might have actually been before Tyler showed up.
Yeah, it might have been.
But yeah, he sees her plans, and this is kind of where we start learning where he's like actually really smart. He's not just some dumb jock.
Yeah, because they start working out like what went wrong and what to do that could fix it, and they like get the idea too, because what went wrong was the moisture was rain falling down, and they needed to like be able to change it back into moisture in the air so it could be sucked up. So they used some compound with silver in it to like change the rain back into moisture in the air, and then that stuff could suck it up and blah 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 science stuff. But they like figured out what went wrong and how to do it right, and that's what kind of drives the rest of the movie.
And she wasn't going to do it at first because Tyler was going to leave, and you know, then he gets in a car and she's like, no, we're doing it. We can do it. So they figure out a plan. Then they get his crew, and then they find a tornado, right? Or tornado warning pops up or something. It's kind of the final tornado, which was huge.
Yeah, and I thought this one, it was different again because it's bigger, and then it like hits the tornado hits like a electrical plant thing, and it like turns into a fire tornado, which I thought looked really awesome.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then you're right. Then it's got bigger and bigger and bigger. So then they were testing it out, and they decide they need to save this town, right?
Yeah, it was heading towards the town. They decided to go there and help evacuate the people and get them somewhere safe.
Javi was with that douchebag kind of guy, and I was like, no, I'm all numbers, I'm all this. Yep. You know, and I was making fun of Kate the whole movie. How does she know this? That's not what my data says. And Javi ends up dumping him on the side of the road. I almost feel like killing him too, because
right next to
where is he going to go?
Yeah.
I guess he could call another car, I guess.
I guess so.
So he's like, no, I'm helping these people. Screw you and your company and money or whatever. So finally he decides to do what's right. Yeah, this is kind of the big climax.
Yeah, before he gets there, they're like evacuating people, and a big water tower falls, and like Tyler gets caught under it, and so she's trying to save him, and then right when it looks like they're both about to die, Javi comes in with his move that he did earlier in the movie, using like a pole as a fulcrum to like lift up the thing and save him.
Yes, it's a superhero moment.
His redemption.
And then they all run into a movie theater, which I thought was very funny.
Yeah.
Because like it was kind of cool, like because the screen got sucked in and there's a tornado behind it. I'm like, oh, what if that happened in my theater right now?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, it was terrifying. I mean, the thing was huge. The special effects are good. I mean, this is what you expect for a climax in a disaster movie. And Kate's like, oh, if I don't do something, everyone's going to die. So she gets to the truck with the chemicals to put in the thing, and she drives it into the tornado. Things kind of go wrong, but it shoots off. And she gets it, and it works, and Tyler finds her, and they all live happily ever after.
Yeah, one thing about that, I was a little worried that they were going to have her go try it and then Tyler swoop in and save her, because that's kind of like how Hollywood movies go. But I really like that she did it all on her own. Like, he helped with figuring out the issue before, but like she was the one who went out, took the truck, went into danger, shot the thing off, and took out the tornado.
I agree. And they also didn't do the opposite, where Tyler's dumb and she needs to save him. There's no saving anybody. They both were smart.
Yep.
They both did what they needed to do. Like, they're like, these characters were strong characters on their own right that just happened to like each other. Like, they didn't dumb down one or the other. Like, you know, there's no little white knight saving her, or there's no like, I'm the main character in this movie, I'm the girl, I'm stronger than you. It was just characters.
Yep.
doing what they do. I thought it was great. And even at the end, so after this whole thing, it flashes forward to the airport, and Javi's dropping off Kate to go back to New York, and Tyler goes too, and her and Kate have a moment like, oh, I need to chase what we want, right, kind of thing. And she walks off into the airport, and then Javi's like, come on, man, you know what that means. He gets back in his car, contemplates it.
I thought the funniest part of the movie was at the end with Paul Scheer, the actor, just being like, dude, you gotta move your car. Like, come on, get out of here. Like, I thought that guy was so funny. And then he drills it in.
He drills to the ground.
And then chases what he wants.
Yep, and then he chases what he wants, goes in there, and they have their moment, and, then they hear about a tornado warning, and it ends. And you know what I also love about this, too? Is there is romance, but there's no forced kiss. There's no rushing.
True.
It was just romance. Like, I don't know, because I was reading if they played with it. They filmed a kissing scene, but, like, it just felt more real and natural how it was.
Yeah, I think it ended up good.
From what I read, the director said, this is what the director said, this is my words, where he thinks that the generation now doesn't need a kiss. Like, back then, everything was sealed with a kiss, like back in the day. Like, that was the romantic moment. But nowadays, kids want more of that emotional connection. So he played around more with the emotional connection and not the physical connection.
Interesting. I like that.
Which is why they didn't kiss. It was more of a, like, which I liked it too, because you don't need to seal it with the kiss. They can have their moment in the sequel or something. Like,
yeah.
I actually really loved it about that. They didn't force anything, but they have that connection.
For sure. It's obvious throughout the entire movie.
Yeah. And I think that's why I gave this an 8, is because I think the writing was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I thought the characters and acting was great. I thought it was a little smarter than I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's still a disaster movie.
Right.
But they flipped the script on some things.
They did, for sure.
Both characters, male and female, strong. It was just fun, man. It was a good movie.
It was a fun movie, for sure. Definitely exceeded my expectations going in. I was like, okay, I'm ready for a disaster movie. But it had more than that. It was good.
And I know there'll be a sequel because this movie made bank. I'm sure they'll turn this into a franchise.
Yeah, I'm curious how they'll do that now that they can just stop tornadoes. So we'll have to see.
The tornadoes evolve.
They have sharks in them now. Oh, wait, it's a crossover.
Doing a crossover in Sharknado. That'd be hilarious. But yeah, man, I knew I would like it just because I'm a sucker for disaster movies. Just like a fun, they're just kind of fun but stupid. But I was pleasantly surprised, that's for sure.
Yeah, me too. I did not have that high of expectations, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great. Go out and watch this one too. There's some great movies out right now.
Yeah, for sure.